Un Chien, Andalou.
Thank you for being the one to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Uh, this is a joint venture between Salvador Dali and Louis Buñuel,
Mm-hmm.
and very, very famous abstract silent
Yeah.
avant-garde
Uh,
jam.
a classic surrealist film.
Surrealist, yes.
Un Chien Andalou in English translates to the Andalusian dog,
Hmm.
which I read why it's called that. I don't even remember what it is. It's a surrealist thing. It's like there's no dog in the movie.
No.
Uh it's yeah. This movie is deliberately intended to be not necessarily confusing, but like kind of inscrutable.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing to scrut here. Uh it it's a bunch of I guess it's like a lot of just series of just like violent, disturbing imagery.
It kind of operates on like dream or nightmare logic of like
Yeah.
kind of free flowing, almost like stream of consciousness stuff where like characters and things appear or disappear. Time moves in weird ways. There's a couple title cards that are like a week later, 8 years later. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
sort of it's all kind of you know a dream like series of bizarre imagery and scenes.
But in many ways, it's kind of using film language to do that sort of
Hmm.
stuff, like with the
Yeah.
time title cards. Like you can't, Salvador Dali chiefly makes paintings, and you
Hmm.
can't really do a time jump in a painting. So
Yeah.
that's sort of something that is kind of that they're able to play with by making it this visual medium. Another thing that they do is they create these kind of visual juxtapositions between different
Hmm.
shots, like um, like a match cut between a hairy armpit and a sea urchin, that kind of thing.
Well, speaking of match cuts and editing, this movie has probably one of the most famous cuts in
Wow,
movies,
come on,
possibly.
man! The most famous cuts.
I mean, in both senses, right? Like it is just a hard edit, right, in that sense, but
Yeah,
it's also yeah, someone cutting an eyeball with a razor blade.
yeah, which is
Um,
grody.
yeah, it's real nasty to look at. It was so it cuts from a sort of close up of a woman having a razor blade lifted up to her eyeball, and then it cuts to a shot of the moon with a cloud intersecting it, and then it cuts to extreme close up of an eyeball getting cut by the razor blade. Um, which is not a human eyeball; it is a goat eyeball, I believe, from a dead goat.
Hmm.
But it's still a real eyeball getting cut with the razor blade, and it's that thing that editing does, where you cut from a real woman's face to a goat's eyeball, and your brain connects the two. So it in your head, you're sort of like, ah, that's a real eyeball getting
I mean, the
cut.
eyeball. Oh wait, but the eyeball is like in front of a human face, right? Like you're seeing it with like an eyebrow and cheek around it.
Uh, I remember it like you can if you look around the edges of the eyeball, you can tell it's a goat. Like you can see the hair and the
Really,
goatliness of it.
the goatliness.
Like it's not composited onto a human face. It is like once you know it's a goat eyeball, it's kind of obvious.
I thought they just kind
Um,
of like put the goat eyeball like on top of her eyeball, but I don't know.
no, I think it's just a straight, real close up shot of a goat eyeball. But knowing that it's a goat eyeball, you can tell.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do see the hair. I'm just looking at it again.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, it fooled me.
Yeah. See, it works really well, and it's just editing. Like, um, it lets your brain do all the extra work. There's kind of a fun backstory to this movie, which is that Louis Buñuel and Salvador Dali were, you know, surrealist artists working in Europe, and they were swapping weird dreams that they had had. And Dali had a dream about ants coming out of his hands, which is a thing in this movie. And Buñuel had one where a cloud sliced the moon in half like a razor cutting through an eyeball. And they were, just swapping all these weird dreams they had. And Buñuel was like, that could be a movie. Let's do it. And so they kind of threw together this, this movie out of a bunch of weird dream imagery that they had come up with. And Buñuel had said about it at some point, no idea or image that might lend itself to a rational explanation of any kind would be accepted. So it's like, it is
awesome.
deliberately trying to be irrational,
Yeah.
Nothing in the film symbolizes anything. The only method of investigation of the symbols would be perhaps psychoanalysis. So it's like, all the imagery in this movie is meant to sort of evoke something in whoever's watching it, but it doesn't actually mean anything beyond just like, this is a weird thing. What does that say to you,
It's evocative. It gives you feelings.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to say that it's actually like saying much about the exact content of it. Rather, it's saying stuff about the making of it and the existence of it, like a lot of more modern art does.
Yeah, but I like that sort of approach to making anything. I mean, that's a very...
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, there are ways that this feels like an advance in film form because other more avant-garde stuff that we've seen before has been a little more literal. Like, if you look at either like literal like life and death of a Hollywood extra, right? Or
it's about a very specific thing,
right? But like, and it uses some avant-garde stuff to tell a story that is an actual story. Or the other kind of thing that we've seen is just like form and shape and color, right?
Right, like the Opus movies, yeah.
And this is making deliberately like effects-driven abstract imagery out of real stuff. So it's not like representational so much.
Yeah.
Or if it is representational, it's representing nonsense.
Yeah. But I like the idea of just like filming a bunch of nonsense and then sort of like inviting the viewer to sort of like make sense of it almost.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree with me on that, but I don't know. I'm excited by that idea.
But yeah, like lots of I guess the main through line of this is just like gore and body horror almost.
It is kind of a body horror movie, yeah, for sure. The ants coming out of the hands and
ant hands. There's like just a random like disembodied hand on the ground or foot. It felt like the beginning of Blue Velvet in that way. There are pianos with dead cows inside, like grand pianos with dead cows inside of them. There's a death's head moth. There's a guy with his like mouth that has I don't know, like his skin is like over his mouth, a la the beginning of The Matrix. What good is a phone call if you're unable to speak, etc. Yeah, so it's just like lots of really like grody, like unsettling stuff.
It's funny you bring up Blue Velvet. I'm sure David Lynch loves this movie.
Oh sure. Oh yeah.
Like it feels very Lynchian in that way.
Believe it or not, Eraserhead is my most spiritual film. Explain that. No.
Probably what Salvador Dali or Louis Buñuel would say if someone had said, "Explain Un Chien Andalou." No. You do that. That's your job.